for you, mate.
2021 has seen multiple bulk firings by WWE. And while AEW has definitely been enjoying the new talent that's become available, and some talent that already were, I think there are still some names that have a story to tell on AEW television. I'm Adam from FWCI Sports and Gaming, and this video is my top 10 wrestlers that AEW should sign in 2022. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, hit the like button. Bring it! Number 10, Adam Brooks. For those who haven't seen an Adam Brooks match, go check out the Melbourne City Wrestling YouTube channel and get caught up. But one big reason he makes this list, considering my desire to see an Aussie on the AEW roster, I'd love to see a fresh Aussie talent get the chance to start off in AEW. The loose ledge Adam Brooks has all the tools to be in that position. I find that a lot of Aussies who go to the USA become a blend of Aussie and American, or a blend of Aussie and some sort of character. Very rarely do we see somebody make it big in the USA and retain their full Aussie personality. Well, maybe a couple of exceptions.
You've got to be joking me.
But Brooksy just might have the right personality to bring that attitude to the world via an AEW ring. Number 9, Tyler Breeze and Fandango. Dango and Breezy have been endlessly entertaining even in WWE, and their humor and personality would definitely be embraced in AEW, similar to the Best Friends, the Dark Order at times, and other pseudo-comedy teams. If we get to see the Fashion Police in a role where they spend 80% of their time in a comedy segment, but then 20% of their time kicking butt in heated matches, I think people might be surprised when they remember how good these two are in the ring. Plus, Dango is a veteran at this point, and Breezy was already being praised for his work training the women in NXT. I think this duo has a lot more to offer than just in the ring. Number 8, Gran Metalik and Lince Dorado. While there can't be room on the AEW roster for every released WWE wrestler, Gran Metalik and Lince Dorado have been spectacular and consistent ever since the Cruiserweight Classic. AEW already has a very strong connection with Lucha Libre, and the idea of Penta and Phoenix having a tag team main event with Lince and Metalik sounds pretty appealing to me. Plus, if AEW enters the realm of trios championships, having these two on the roster would immediately add some interest to that division. These aren't just guys in masks, these are successful and legitimate luchadors, and could play a significant role in AEW. Number 7, Jonah. Formerly known as Bronson Reed in NXT, this former North American champion is one of those guys who was a very rare talent with physical attributes that do not walk through the door every day. While Jonah was just finding his feet in NXT, he already earned the respect of the fans, and that is a testament to just how good his storytelling is bell to bell. Jonah versus Miro is a dream match of mine, so I think he'd be a great fit for the TNT Championship picture. He was supposed to debut with Impact Wrestling, but due to visa issues, that has been postponed, but we might actually see him pop up in Impact before anything with AEW. Number 6, Keith Lee. This is a bit of a weird one because Keith Lee, much like the aforementioned Jonah, is a total biological anomaly. His size, speed, and strength are all maxed out, and while his real-life personality is actually very quaint and low energy, WWE never found a good way to present who Keith Lee is, and as a result, we got a year of stop-start pushes on Raw after a fairly successful and promising start in NXT. But where does Keith Lee fit on the roster? Is there even room for somebody like Keith Lee? Somebody who's on the precipice of greatness and urgently needs to see success just for the fans to feel satisfied? I don't know, but you don't pass up an opportunity to sign Keith Lee. So I think AEW should snap him up even if they expect it to overcrowd their main event picture. Number 5, Buddy Matthews. The secret no more. Buddy Matthews, formerly known as Buddy Murphy, is somebody who can come into AEW at any level and his stock will rise with every TV appearance. Matthews does his talking between the ropes and with new opponents like Darby Allin, Ricky Starks, and Pentagon, as well as old friends like Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo, there would be a gigantic pool of talent for Buddy to work with. And similar to all the entries on this list, a long stint in WWE feeling creatively stifled might be the catalyst for some truly captivating moments elsewhere, not just from Buddy Matthews, but from any former WWE star joining AEW. Number 4, Taya Valkyrie. Taya has been very outspoken since being released by WWE, and her release is frustrating for several reasons. Taya is good enough to be used in a significant role in WWE, But despite this obvious fact, Taya has also been vocal about criticism of her age, as well as WWE's new directive to only sign women under the age of 25. Taya's work in Lucha Underground made me an immediate fan of her work and her character. I'd love to see her rocking some AEW gold in the next few years, not only because she deserves it, but I think it'd be an amazing achievement considering WWE has obviously written her off. Taya Valkyrie is no joke, and the world has witnessed her journey. She could still be one of the greatest success stories in wrestling history. Number 3, Samoa Joe. Joe is certainly approaching the end of his career. He suffered injuries fairly frequently while in WWE, and I suspect the number of matches left in Samoa Joe is not many. But how poetic would it be for Joe to finish up his career having matches and feuds with his ROH brothers from the early 2000s? Joe versus Danielson, Joe versus Punk, and even some TNA alums like Sting, Daniels, and Kazarian would all be tremendous matches in 2022. I think giving Joe one solid 2-year run, slowly ticking off some bucket list matches in AEW, would be a great feel-good moment for a wrestler that was basically 50% of the reason TNA wrestling reached the heights that it did. And if we got the other 50% of that equation in AJ Styles on the roster, you would have wrestling history captured in a bottle. Number 2, Killer Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux. As mentioned earlier, the AEW roster is starting to border on bloated, but Killer Kross with Scarlett Bordeaux is another act that you simply cannot pass up. Kross has been a consummate professional during his stint in WWE and NXT. Despite the damage that they've done to his character on Raw, he's always shown up on TV as intense and focused as ever. I think Killer Kross will be somebody who brings attention to AEW in the long term in a more big picture kind of way. I personally see him moving into film, whether it's movies, Netflix, whatever platform. In my opinion, the guy's a movie star just waiting to be discovered, and if he's connected to AEW when that happens, well, that's just good for everybody involved. Plus, some kind of Killer Kross Malachi Black faction or feud would be awesome. And number 1, Kevin Steen. Steen's contract expires at the end of January 2022, and as of now, there seems to be a pretty high chance that he might move on from WWE. While AEW's main event scene is not exactly lacking, not to mention the mid-card is full of stars on the verge of breaking out as well, Steen has several connections to the main event talent in AEW that would be really fun to explore. Steen, Adam Cole, and the Young Bucks were known as the Mount Rushmore of wrestling back in the ROH days. Plus, there's a built-in story with the friendship between Jericho and Steen in WWE. In fact, the latter is what I would plan his initial debut around. But history and relationships aside, Kevin Steen is possibly the only person in the world of wrestling who I think could outshine CM Punk on the microphone. And after watching CM Punk and Eddie Kingston's verbal sparring recently on Rampage, I think a Punk and Steen program would be must-see viewing. So that's my list of 10 people that AEW Wrestling should sign in 2022. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Is there anybody else that should be on the list? Was there anyone you thought was ranked too high or ranked too low? Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Get involved in the comments too. And as always, be well, stay safe, look after your friends, and see you in the next video. Peace. You can get it chopping. Or you can get it watching. You can get it carrying a log. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer, and the best cold beer is Von Bitter. You can get it jumping. You can get it thumping. You can get it any old how. Matter of fact, I've got it now. Von Bitter.
I rooted 523 women.
Whoa.
I can root any woman I want. But I choose to root your mother because she services my penis and my penis only.
Dad, stop.
My penis became so powerful. A donkey wanted to root me. So I rooted it. I rooted the donkey!
Okay, Dad,